Hey guys, good morning. Come to you today. Come to you. Hey guys, good morning. I come to you today with a heavy heart. I know I shouldn't because we chose this life as I stated before. So, in reality, a part of me should already know what all outcomes are gonna be and not worry. But and normally I say everything after but is BS, but we can't, at least I'm gonna speak on myself. I can't not go about my day-to-day life and not be a little bit concerned about certain things. And I say that because, let me just give you a story time. So as I think I stated in another video, I'm trying to make a transition to a new career. I'm handling all of the necessary requirements for me to make that transition, and things seem to be going pretty well. So once again, speaking on past experiences and things of that nature, I don't know if I have, but stay tuned and you probably will hear some of those. But I remember one time I had a dream and I was it was like a checkpoint, some kind of security checkpoint. And as I approach, I don't remember if I showed documents or whatever it was, but they just was like, all right, you clear. And I went through. But once again, this is what I'm saying about we chose. A part of us already knew what we were going to get into, so there's no need for concern or worry. But that brings me to why I'm actually, sharing this with you guys today. So I woke up, today is June 27th. I woke up this morning and it was probably after midnight. I would say probably 2 o'clock or somewhere in that time frame. And I decided to check my mail, check my messages, and I see that there is a message from another job that I applied for. And I already got a response from them, but I guess I had applied for the position twice because I had never got a response. So I looked at the outgoing message. For some reason, it caught my eye. And the outgoing message, it was a pre-written message. And it definitely was a negative response because the incoming message wasn't telling me that I didn't get the job. They was asking me, did I want to join the team, as an employee, or because I am an employee with the company, but I'm trying to move to a different area. So they were asking me once again, do I want to join their team, and so forth. And I never responded to any of them. So when I seen this message this morning, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know why you're resending it, but I also remember that, at that particular moment, oh yeah, you did apply twice, so maybe that's just a double response. But then what caught my eye was the outgoing message. It was pretty negative. And I'm not one to send negative messages to people, and that's not in my character, in my being. If anything, if I have a negative thought, I'm definitely going to keep it to myself. I'm never going to, send it to someone in a message or even say it because, the way I felt at that moment is irrelevant to the situation, because once again, you don't want to make a bad situation worse. But to see the message at that time in the morning, knowing that you didn't write it, now that's a bit concerning. That's a tad bit concerning because I do respond. Of course, everyone responds to somebody, but at this particular time of the morning, I wouldn't have never consciously put together that text to send to pretty much an automated system. And it was a bit weird and unsettling because it leads to question, was there other messages sent that I didn't know about? Because however that text got written, the response got written, I don't know if potentially it could have happened before, and it could have just something been sent that I didn't write. So that's why I say it's a bit concerning. In the past, something could have been written. Now, I know I've been I've been dealing with a family issue, and I've been doing some research, online through an app, and I don't know if that app interpreted something, but these are two different, your text messages, especially on iPhone, is, it's totally one app, and the app I was using to do the research is a totally different app. So, that data or information would have had to come from one to the other. But here's another part. In the response, it was something pertaining to my up and coming job, the one I'm applying for. Now, that made it a bit more concerning, because how do you know? How do you know about the position that I'm applying for? Where did you get this knowledge from? And I don't believe that I'm a person that can do something. I don't believe that my subconscious mind is able to grab a phone, unlock it, open an app, and start to create a text without me consciously knowing it. It's possible. Do I think it happened? No, I don't think it happened. And that's why I said, this is a bit concerning. So I want to switch the topic and talk about something else, family. So, I recently had a death earlier this year I had a death in the family, and now assets are being distributed, and I have a family member that's trying to pull a fast one, trying to literally finesse me and my brother and my sister out of some property. It's not right. It's, I didn't expect this person. Not that I believe that all people are perfect, and but I don't know. Maybe it was me being a bit naive, but I don't think it was being naive. I think I just wasn't looking that far in the future to think that this would be the outcome of that. She would be trying to take this route, but it's more like I pretty much didn't foresee this situation coming up. I knew that how the property was unpaid for, completely paid for. So I kind of figured it would go back to the finance company, and that was it. So I never really gave it much thought. But back to what I was saying about the current job. Right now, for the last couple of weeks, I told myself, probably for a month, because I have another vehicle and it's running, but it's not running great, and I want to get rid of it. I have a motorcycle that for some reason, I don't know if the battery went dead or whatever, I couldn't get it inspected. It didn't pass inspection or whatever. Okay, fine. So I was talking to my sister. She was like, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you get it, repaired? And I'm not doing any of that. Why is because I'm more focused on my future, putting my energy into my future, than dealing with something that I can come back to later. It's not, I don't believe that the two vehicles are going to bind me to that for now, but they're not as important as what I'm trying to achieve in the future. So basically, to tie all this in, you see how the current position I'm trying to, move into it's a priority, it's a necessity, it's where this is an avenue I need to take. I need to take this journey. This journey is calling me. It's my desire. It's, but the crazy part is we all have bumps in the roads. And of course, during the whole applying process, I did feel, a little resistance, and, became a little bit concerning, but each step of the way, I got over those little hurdles. But to tie it all back together, to keep it together, so I'm applying for this position. This situation comes up with a family member that passed. At the time it did, I was away taking a class. So I had to, at the end of the class, I didn't have time to really go back to my home state. I had to go to Georgia to attend the funeral. Left Georgia, went back up north, and then went back to work in my home state. But what I'm saying is, do it all. I'm just focused on my new career, not the other things that's going on that's trying to distract me from making that move. Now, one thing I will say is, sometimes I have experienced situations where things are just falling apart before they get better. And when I mean falling apart, I had to ask why. I literally had to say, help me figure this out. It's not adding up. And at the moment, there's that one situation when I was relocating down south. I'll come back to that later. At that moment, it felt like the right move to make, but let me tell you, I ran into some resistance in travels, but when I got there, and that was 8 months. At the end of the 8 months, it was ugly. It got ugly. So I say that to say, sometimes you will get signs of certain things you're not supposed to do, as far as definitely pertaining to, a job and so forth, or relationships. Could be, renting a home, and you really should keep your eye open to them. But in this current situation, I just think it feels different. And what do I mean by it feels different? It feels different in a way that something, of course, is external, is trying to pull me away from making this decision, because I've self-sabotaged plenty of times. And if you don't know what that is, I can give you a brief rundown of that. That's when you allow your emotions and reasons to take over, and you make bad decisions pertaining to, like in my case, it's always been work. But this time I know it's not me self-sabotaging my future. I feel that it's something else trying to distract me from staying positive and moving forward in my life. It's energy is something else. I think we talked about it before, and you have to be careful of who you share your information with, your goals, your journey. Because sometimes even family unconsciously they may not want you to succeed. What I mean by that is, they're happy that you're making a change, but if it's going to take them away from, if it's going to take you away from them, then that becomes a problem. They'll never admit it because this is a subconscious, selfish act, and they don't consider themselves selfish. They just see it as, and here's a scenario. They'd be like, oh, that's wonderful, that's great. But in the back of their mind, you're like, well, I won't have access to them. You know, if let's say CDL, you're going to, you're going over the road. Now they know that, yeah, you're going to make money, be able to support the family or whatever, and you'll be okay. But they also know that at the same time, they might not see you for 6 weeks at a time. So now, subconsciously, they're projecting, they're projecting that energy. And I would believe that if enough of them came together, you can believe that things will not work for you. But if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. No one can take that from you. So to wrap it all up, between the little pitfalls I've been going through about this job that I've overcome, and the passing of a family member, and then on top of that, the text, I don't know. I mean, the text wasn't going to any future employment, but it could have went to my current employer, and that might not have been good. It could have left a scar on my record. Now I don't know where it came from, who or what wrote it, and is it possible that they sent something in the past, or can they send something in the future? That's where the concern comes in about. That's what made me come on here today and share this concern with you guys, because it's a bit nerve-wracking and, uneasiness, because I've experienced a lot of life experiences. That's why I named this channel Life Experiences. And this is a new one. And it's dealing with tech. And when tech gets involved, that's when things can get a little messy, because some things are out of your control. So, well, all I want to say is be safe, be well, treat people kindly, with respect, and just, try to be a better person than you was yesterday. All right. Take it easy, guys.